All right. So what's up, everybody? It's your girl. It's Jenna, and we are back. And as you can see, this is a very different format than usual because
Howdy.
hi, because today I'm collabing with one of my greatest friends. His name is Gray, and we have a lot of cool stuff planned for the future. So for his first video on his channel, and for my newest video on mine, we're going to be talking the paranormal. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, for those on my channel, hello, I am Grayson Savannah of On Top Paranormal Productions. Today I'm joined by Caramel Productions.
hey, how's it going?
We're going to be collabing a lot.
Yes, we have all sorts of cool stuff planned for the future, and I'm so excited. So y'all better stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I have a couple series I'm working on.
Yeah.
My channel is not going to be child friendly. There's going to be a lot of cursing.
That's okay, though. I mean, I only do this because otherwise my mom will get mad.
Well, I'm just saying for my sake, because I don't feel like getting flagged or reported or whatever the YouTube algorithm does with the videos.
It's like, honestly, ever since Kappa, it's become really hard for me to, like, find a solid ground on YouTube. Okay, but that's enough about complaining about YouTube. Today's video is about the paranormal. Now, as you guys might know, if you guys have been longtime fans of the channel, I did a video way back on paranormal experiences. And today we're going to be revisiting that because a lot has happened in my life ever since the 5th grade. And I obviously want to be joined by Gray here. And we're going to be talking all of our paranormal experiences. So do you want to go first or should I?
I think you should go first, saying yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start out with my main paranormal story. Now, if you know me, you know this story like the back of your hand. I've told this so many times, but I've never really talked about it on YouTube. I've definitely talked about it on Reddit, but not YouTube. So what happened was, when I was in middle school, I was an idiot, like we all were. And what happened was, me and my two friends were very big into the paranormal, like we were. We'd run around and do stuff, like whatever kids who were into the paranormal did way back when. So one of the things we mainly wanted to do was make a Ouija board. Now, for those of you youngins, that's a bad idea. Now,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So what happened is one of my friends actually went ahead and made a makeshift Ouija board, and he actually came up to me at recess and he said that he had come into contact with a spirit. Now, this spirit didn't really have a name. It just called itself A, just the letter A. And I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. So what does it want? And he told me that it seemed like he wanted to protect us from something. So a little bit of time passes and we forget about it a little bit. We decide we don't want to talk to A until we have a proper Ouija board because we thought that would make it better. And to my luck, I ended up getting one for Christmas. So right around March. Right around March of that year, me and my two friends decided to get into contact with A using my Ouija board. I had the board. My one friend brought her own paranormal stuff. She brought candles. She brought some lavender. We didn't have sage, is the thing. And so that made it a little worse for us, I think. So honestly, it's kind of hard to explain, but what happened was we all get everything set up. We keep the lights on because we don't want anything spooky happening when the lights are out. And we get right to work. And so that's when things hit the fan, so to speak. So what happened was, we ended up getting into contact. The board was acting super weird. It was like spouting off nonsense. And we wanted to know what it was talking about. So we finally come around to asking, who was this? Because up to this point, we thought it was A, but it was acting weird. So we asked what was wrong, and it turns out it was a different ghost. And it called itself T. Like, again, just the letter. And we were like, okay, who is this? So we kept pressuring it until we finally asked what it was. We learned that it was definitely not a good spirit. And when we asked what it was, all it said was the word proxy. And we had to look that up because we were kids. And we figured out that he was being in control for something else. So that meant something else was trying to reach us, but we didn't know what it was. So right around then, right when we figured out this piece of information, there's a loud bang that comes from the basement closet. And my two friends decide to look. I have to stay behind because, taking your hands off the planchette without saying goodbye is pretty dangerous. So I stay behind. I don't say anything to the board, but my friends, they came running back, screaming. Like they saw something and they just bolted back to me. And I asked, what was going on? What's up? And my friend told me they saw this thing in the closet. It was a tall, skinny, black humanoid figure with teeny tiny white eyes that was curled up in the fetal position in the closet. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's enough. We're ending this session right here. So we finish up the session and we go upstairs to get some holy water. But we heard a noise from the basement immediately afterward. And when we got back down, all of our stuff was everywhere. We had taken the planchette off the board, but now it was back on the board, and all of our protective gear had been thrown everywhere. So that freaked us out. We blessed basically the board and the whole basement and my room, just in case. And we continued to get together, and occasionally we talked to the board again. We eventually got back into contact with A, and we figured out that if we wanted to talk to A or T, we had to turn the lights on or off because A came in darkness, T came in light. It makes sense. Now, the strange part is my two friends, they have the same last name. They're not related. They just have the same last name. But T told us that he was trying to drain energy from both of my friends because of their last name connection. It was somehow tied to them, and that's why I wasn't reading on things that much as the others were. So we ended up seeing that black shadow thing a couple more times. It would sometimes stand outside our houses. We'd also see a tall white figure with tiny black eyes, and we thought that was A. Now, after a couple months of this going on, I decided, okay, that's enough. I can't walk into this closet without being super afraid anymore. I'm going to have to bless the house. So one of my friends is a spiritualist, my friend's mom, and she came over and she smudged the basement and our house to get rid of negative energies. And that's when the sightings stopped completely. And I haven't used that Ouija board since, and I do not plan to. And that's the main thing that's happened recently.
As for me, I was an idiot, went to the woods alone, as I told you earlier.
Yeah, we had a conversation about this.
And I may have come across a cryptid. I personally am not big on believing things like that, but I think the concept is cool. And the description of said cryptid matches what I saw. So we're going to go with this cryptid.
I mean...
Because why not?
It's obviously the more plausible explanation here, but tell us, like...
Fairy godparents!
Okay, but tell us what happened. Like, what happened?
Right. So, I went in the woods alone. I have a personal hideout there with a couple of my friends. I want to go alone to see how it was because it was a while since I went back there. And I heard something, and I saw a black mass dart behind a pile of decaying leaves. I personally was skeptical and thought I was being followed by someone or maybe an animal. So I dove in some mud and like dirt and whatever, covered myself up, and had a clear shot view of everything that was going on. I sat there for about 20 minutes and I realized nothing's going on. So I pick up myself. I basically crawl away as quiet as I can, given the woods and dead leaves, whatever. I make it back to a fishing spot near that place. And I call my friends and I told them what happened. And while they're meeting me there, I catch them crawfish. We go back and find the whole place ransacked. Just everything's everywhere. Branches, the leaves are scattered now.
Oh.
Yeah. And so basically, earlier I learned about this cryptid and massive description. I know, big whoop. You learn it how many months, year later? I believe it could have been a cryptid called the Hideaway, or is
Hide
it
behind.
Hideaway?
Isn't that?
Hideaway. That's what I said. My brain is just not.
That's okay. That's okay. It's fine.
You get the point.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, should I go into detail what the head behind is?
Yeah, I feel like that. I didn't know what it was until you told me about it. Mostly because I know,
Yeah.
like I thought, like when I first heard that you saw a cryptid, I was like, did he just see a thunderbird or something?
I didn't see a car. I'm sorry.
Okay, but you can like go into detail about it.
All right. So essentially, the hide behind is a creature that has black fur, and it can morph itself to fit behind any trees and shit. Mind my cursing. It's
I'm
fourth
gonna have to
habit.
edit that out.
That's fine.
That's okay.
So, yeah. So basically, you can't really see it, and it hides itself well. And if you go try to see what it is, it just kind of like moves, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? It predicts when you're gonna try to look for it or see it. So, yeah.
That's actually quite interesting. Like I personally, I have not really had many encounters with cryptids. They're not really my area of expertise when it comes to the paranormal. Like I'm more of like a ghost type of person, and that actually brings me to my second tale for the evening. So over here in my state, we have a state park, and it's called Peapatch Island. And Peapatch Island is mainly known for having a big Civil War fort, and that Civil War fort is, while known for being a part of history, it's also known for being the most haunted spot in the state. And what happened was, I'd heard rumors about the most haunted spot, which is the mess hall. Now, at the back of the mess hall, there's a tiny kitchen, and it's very old-fashioned. But what makes it interesting is that there's a plank of wood across the top of the ceiling that kind of goes diagonal. And then hanging from that piece of wood is a long, long rope. Now, apparently, if there's a ghost on the premises that's hiding out there, it will swing the rope on its own. Now, that doesn't sound so terrible, but the thing is, the kitchen is all the way at the back of the room. And there was no other doors into the kitchen other than going through the mess hall. There was a window inside of the kitchen, but it was constantly blocked off by a piece of plexiglass. And the door outside that was usually open, because state park, was about like 15, maybe it was about 15 feet away from the kitchen. So the likelihood of it being swayed by an intense wind is really, really low. And what happened was I wanted to go and take a look and see if this wind ghost was a real thing. So I brought some paranormal supplies with me, and I went and talked to the rope. And I actually managed to get it to twitch a little bit. Like, if I asked if there was anybody there, it definitely twitched a little bit. It did not violently swing, as I've heard it sometimes does, but it was very interesting. I don't recall our entire conversation because it was mostly trying to confirm or deny the existence of it, and it was definitely there. And there's apparently many other ghosts that live in this fort. So, yeah, that's the main one that I know of.
All right, as for my next, I'm going to start off by saying that I will go back there alone and do a part 2 of my story, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But as for my next story, I'll say my first experiences along with my most recent. I'm going to start with my most recent.
Mm-hmm.
I was laying in bed, just watching TV, doing what I do, when I see a dark figure with red eyes appear in my corner right there.
Oh.
I don't know if you can really see that.
Yeah, I can see it. Oh my god.
Yeah. And I thought my eyes were just playing tricks on me because I had a clock right there, right next to my reptile tank, and it had red numbers. But it was about 7 feet tall, and it's kind of hard for a 4 foot, maybe a little less than 4 feet, alarm clock to make it bounce to 7 feet tall.
Yeah, and I don't know how it would really like suspend itself there.
Because like, I mean, my eyes could have darted, and like it could have like
Like you
But
look away for a
other than, yeah, but there's no really good explanation to say how my
yeah,
eyes would have jumped from like 4 feet to 7 feet.
yeah. Okay, so
So I'm freaking out.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
wait, what do you have to say?
you, you can go, keep going.
All right. So I'm freaking out. I have a friend on the phone who is semi-spiritual and says I might have a djinn on me now. And luckily time passes and my cat decides to wander towards there and lays down. So I'm assuming it went away or whatever because, familiars and all that.
Yeah.
But prior to that experience, I was at the mall and I just got completely drained of energy. Like I couldn't even stand on my own. I was with 2 friends. One had actually pulled me up while walking through the mall because I felt like just drained of energy. And what I thought it could have been after that experience was that I had a terrible experience. I got a flash of another plane of existence, and I put up a spiritual barrier around myself because I didn't want to experience anything like that anymore.
Oh,
So my best explanation for that whole experience was that something broke it down to get my attention, and it's just draining all my energy.
oh my god. That sounds terrifying. Hang on, I gotta mute this for a sec. And we're back. Okay,
Hurrah!
so for my personal final tale, I want to talk about something that hits close to home as a semi-spiritual person myself. It doesn't have to deal with ghosts. It involves the Fae.
Ooh.
So my friend and I are both very spiritual. I consider myself a Wiccan. She does not.
I just had crystals.
Yeah, crystals are nice, but I consider myself a Wiccan. I actually had my matron goddess appear to me in church, and it was kind of surreal that I finally figured out who she was because my friend was kept saying, come on, it's her. And I was like, no, that can't be right. We're completely opposite. But turns out it was. Okay, but none of that matters. So what happened was we were talking about like spiritual crap, and what happened was we ended up getting into a conversation about the Fae and what you should and shouldn't do. And my friend says one of the most common rule about the Fae, you're not supposed to insult them, you're supposed to treat them politely. So naturally, I decide to test that theory and be an idiot and just yell something about like not liking them, and she just freaked out immediately, and I was like, whoa, hey, wait, what are you doing? So we ended up panicking and grabbing a crystal off of my altar and some honey out of the cupboard, and we all got those and we put them outside. And my friends said that they would probably accept my offering since it was a one-time deal. But the weird part was, when I went to bed that night and then woke up, I immediately went to the deck to see if my gifts had done anything or gone anywhere, and they were gone. Like something, like there's woods behind my house. The ones that I met that took the gifts probably lived in there, and they must have come out and stolen it in the middle of the night. And now, ever since, I've been very sort of respectful and reserved, even about talking about the Fae. Like, the fact that I'm even opening up about this is a little bit scary for me. But, side note here, we actually ended up finding a fairy circle a couple days ago, me and my friend. It was the first time seeing each other since quarantine. And we were hanging out at my grandparents' farm. And that place is probably haunted all on its own. Haven't seen anything. But we were walking around by the pond, and there's some woods behind the pond. And I immediately just noticed that there's a bunch of trees that were all in a circle, and on the ground was just a ton of dead leaves. Now, the weird part is that this place is mostly swampland, so it's hard to get that many dead leaves in one spot. And they were just trees in a complete circle. So I was like, what do I do? Do I go in? I knew it was kind of dangerous. So my friends said that if I gave them an offering, they'd probably let me in. So I gave them some buttercups. And I haven't been back there with my friends since. It was only a couple of days ago when this happened. But I'm going to see if anything will happen once I step into that circle. And so, yeah, that's my encounters with the Fae.
All right, so my last story then.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, well, mine will be a sleep paralysis.
Oh, no.
Because why not? Everyone needs a good sleep paralysis story.
Except for me. I actually do not have a sleep paralysis story. I've never experienced it, but I've heard some people's stories and they are wild.
I've only experienced it twice. And I'm pretty sure that's why I don't sleep on my back anymore. It's like instinct now does not sleep on my back. Although I do get back problems when I do sleep on my back anyways. Besides the point.
Yeah.
So I was at my dad's house and I was just laying down. I woke up and I saw this weird black, almost atom-looking orb above my head. And I looked to the side to see a shadow figure, look kind of masculine, so I'm assuming it was a male, just kind of creeping up towards me. And it was doing that for about 10 minutes and then just kind of evaporated.
Oh.
But the orb was still above my head. And then I passed back out and woke up next morning and told everyone, they're like, what are you talking about, man? Are you on drugs? No, that didn't happen. It's gonna be funny.
No, none of this has happened to me either. I'm have the most boring life imaginable.
Might as well see pretty exciting career years then.
Yeah, but you also had another one? Like another sleep paralysis story.
Oh yeah. That sleep paralysis, nothing happened, I was just paralyzed. Luckily.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
I was just completely paralyzed. But like the only scary part that would I can kind of consider is that time seemed to like just vanish. Like with better 10 seconds, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So the sun was out, and it would have like 10 seconds.
Oh my god.
And that's it. That's basically all that happened. I was surrounded in darkness for like 10 minutes. To what it felt like 10 minutes to me, but actually was like a couple hours.
That sounds so intense. Like I already feel like so weird about that.
I had plenty more experiences back before I moved to where I am now. Like hell, the house I was at before had like at least 5 spirits in it.
I want to go investigate some other haunted places. Like there's a tavern in my town. I could probably investigate my grandparents' farm a little bit.
I plan on going to Eastern State Penitentiary, so.
Ooh, that's a great spot for ghost hunting. But as for now, I'm kind of limited. But we're gonna but we're gonna see where our paranormal adventures take us. All right. So that has been our paranormal talk about our various strange encounters.
Yes, it has been.
Yes, it has. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like, favorite, and comment. And don't forget to subscribe so you can always catch more videos coming your way. And be sure to subscribe to Untitled Paranoia Productions. They're going to make some awesome content for you guys. And it's going to
Damn
be
straight.
amazing. So that's it for now. We'll see you next time with more awesome stuff to come in the future. Peace.
And for my channel, I'm going to have more coffee soon. See you then.
Perfect. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.